Hi, my name is Joe. I am a fat black belt, and today it's just it's a Thursday, whatever. So we're just gonna go over. This is a new dobak. I'm thinking about taking the sleeves in and like using it for self defense. One of the problems with my dobaks is that when I do self defense stuff, especially like gun and knife where there's like a lot of fiddly hand stuff in the middle, I get caught up on people's arms a lot, and fingers and stuff, which is not, my biggest problem in an actual self-defense situation, because I don't care if I break a dude's fingers with my sleeves. However, I do care about my training partner's fingers, so I was thinking maybe I'd get like a short sleeve dobak for self-defense. I thought that might be nice. I'm going to give it a shot. This one is still just a tiny bit tight. It's still just a tiny bit tight in the fat black belt parts, but I do like it. I do like it a lot, so maybe I'll give it a shot. Let's talk about how today went. I woke up and I wasn't really hungry for breakfast. For lunch, I had some leftover chili in the fridge, and I added a chicken breast to that to up the protein. And I got to tell you, that did the job, because I think I had that at 11 o'clock, and by 4, I was still actually feeling stuffed. So I was fine. No big deal. I think I had like 5 chips with some guacamole at some point in time in the middle there too. But, snaggy. But it wasn't too bad. I went off and did some taekwondo. I wasn't doing anything exciting except like teaching and training. My son got cleared to test this weekend, so that's super exciting for him. Then we did some school-related, like back-to-school-related stuff, and afterwards went out to eat as a family, and we hit the Chewies, where I did like a chicken breast with some peppers and onions on top, and that's it. I'm going to have some peanuts while I write tonight. I had a yasso bar. End of day. Pretty good. So back on track. Mission accomplished. Did what I set out to do. Today was not a very intensive day physically, which honestly kind of felt nice. So, real quick, in order to focus a little bit on the black belt part of this channel, I want to talk a little bit about punching. Not all schools do like lots of punches, right? Like that thing where you like stand there and you're doing like, those remittal punches, you can't see them. Right, that thing where you're standing there and doing like 5, 10, 15, 100 punches, whatever. But they are a thing that matters. I actually think there's some benefit there for 2 reasons. One is, I train at the Kukiwan school, and it's part of my black belt test. So you might as well train up to it at the lower belt levels. The other one, and it's not so much a stamina thing or an endurance thing. By the time you're a black belt, you can do 100 punches. That's not a hard thing to do. The push-ups and the jumping rope and all that stuff, that's way harder than the punches. Punches are easy. It is a little bit of a focus thing, though, right? You do the punches, and while you're doing it, you have to be able to think hard enough to count, which means the punching has to be automatic. And that means that we get to see what your punches look like. And a lot of people, especially a lot of people that I see going into like lower belt testing and stuff like that, they start off with this kind of, I'm gonna do these up here so you can see me, but like they start off with a good punch, and then eventually it turns into this rowing the boat motion, or what is this? This is like one of those, it's like what's the thing? An elliptical machine, right? It's this kind of motion, and that's no kind of punch, man. And so one of the things that I think is really important, I'm a huge harper on this, is getting your punches right from the get-go, right? Like, you want not only a real good snap, right, all the way back, get that arm back here, get that elbow back, so that you've got full extension on this stuff. But one of the more important parts of that, for me anyway, knowing where your punches go, right? Because a middle punch goes here, and an upper punch goes here. The thing that I always say to people is, in Taekwondo, there is a middle punch and there is an upper punch. And if your arm is ever straight out like this, you're punching wrong. I mean, yeah, granted, if you're on the streets and some dude's face is there, knock yourself out. But as far as repetitive motion in the studio goes, this is not a punch. It's bad for your shoulder. This like straight out kind of situation, actually very bad for your shoulder. Better biomechanics down here and up here. And if you're going to be doing hundreds of punches, do them correctly. And almost everybody punches straight out from the shoulder because they just don't know any better going into it. And it is shocking to me the number of times I can walk in front of someone and I put my hand, I take it from right here where they're punching, and I just drop it to their solar plexus, and I let them target there for a while, and I walk away, and when I come back, their punches are back up here again every single time. And I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it till it clicks. And it'll get in there eventually, but it's just that repetition of just greasing the wrong groove and having to work real hard to, like Stella, to get your groove back. So that's my thought for the day. Just punching. I have other thoughts on kicks and things, but punching is like super fundamental, so I think it's important to get right. I am downstairs on my wife's computer, so there's no bleeps, there's no bloops, there's no wacky sound effects. Just me being lame. Anyway, tomorrow I don't train at all, so at the studio, so I will be doing my training at home. All right, see you then.